Thought I'd change the scenery up a little bit. Yeah, Marilyn Monroe. Um, there were two videos recently released. I saw one right after the other, and they emphasize something that needs to be addressed right away. One video is a female officer responding to a noise ordinance complaint. Now, 99% of noise ordinance complaints are the neighbor is playing the radio too loud. And majority of the time the officer comes 8 hours later. He's holding a cup of coffee in their hand. And they usually explain that the city ordinance says that blah, blah, blah. The radio must be at X number of decibels of volume, blah, blah, blah. And if you violate the noise ordinance again, blah, 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 I shall issue a fine, blah, blah, blah. Okay? It's usually not a big deal. This noise ordinance complaint, I don't know where it started exactly, but the segment I saw was the female officer on the sidewalk. The individual was advancing. He was coming down his driveway. I would say he was 70 feet away-ish with a hammer. She said the word please and not the word now. Now, when someone shows you a weapon, you don't say the word please, you say the word now. Okay? You don't ask, you tell. Okay? Police work normally goes, first I ask you to do it, then I tell you to do it, then I make you do it. If a weapon is in possession, you have to skip ask and go directly to tell. And sometimes you can't even go to tell, you gotta go directly to make. The average person runs 21 feet a second. Keep in mind, the average person runs 7 feet per second. So by the time you draw your gun and present, they've run 21 feet. Keep in mind some guys can run faster than that based on adrenaline, fitness, history of track, history of running. Okay, they can run faster than that. Now, obviously, if you're a citizen, you may have the duty to retreat. Although sometimes, be realistic, duty to retreat is not always possible. I can turn my back and run away, and the guy can hit me in the back of the head. Sometimes retreat is only possible if I'm in the car with the engine running. If I'm on my legs, I may have to fight because I can't turn my back on the guy. And I always say, never turn your back on an enemy. Never lower your eyes to an enemy. Now, she did pull her gun out, but by the time she pulled her gun out, he was closer to her than the iPad is to the desktop. Okay, and she hit the ground. Maybe she fired, and I think he retreated. Now, he was a black person. Does that really matter? I don't think it does. He had a history of robbery, assault of an officer, blah, blah, blah. You know how it is. And Laura Ingraham asked, I didn't ask, Laura Ingraham asked, was she afraid to defend herself because of the ramifications? Because, let's face it, even with the body camera, even with the evidence clearly visible, Al Sharpton would have came down. He would have circulated the baby pictures. He would have told me how the guy, watched Barney with his nieces and nephews and read stories to blind kids and all that shit. Okay, just like Freddie Gray. Just like Mike Brown. Okay. Just like that shit. But you gotta stay alive. The other incident was a woman upstate New York brandishing a handgun. And yeah, I know what the politicians say, especially the Democrats. See, now the Supreme Court legalized concealed carry in all 50 states, and now these are concealed carry holders. Bullshit, yeah. When someone's got a gun, they're a legal concealed carry holder. Okay? When they got any other weapon, they're a victim of society, please. So she's standing there in the middle of an intersection with a gun. She probably doesn't want to hurt anybody. She probably wants to commit suicide by cop. There was more than one cop at this point, thank God. And one officer literally ran her over with his car. This should be rather police SUV. And his partners affected the arrest. Now, many years ago in the 90s, we had that World's Wildest Police videos. I don't know if you remember, but you probably found a couple of vids on YouTube. And one of the cops there, one of the videos, I mean, because these are fucking crazy videos. From the helicopter sitting on the dashboard cam, you saw guys running past schools, running past churches, driving on front lawns, running in the opposite direction of traffic. Okay, running across 3 states, running after their tires were blown out. And the officers, not me, the officers said, when a suspect puts the public in danger, their life is expendable. And if we have to kill them to protect the public, then guess what? And the officers said that, not me. Now, a lot of times the DA gets a hot button issue, Mike Brown, shit like that, and they convene the grand jury. They know for a fact the grand jury's not going to indict. But they convene the grand jury refuses to indict, and they say, hey, look, we tried. We put it before the grand jury, and the grand jury said don't indict, and now the grand jury did that behind closed doors. They're anonymous, and they've gone home now. Oops. What the DAs need to start doing, they need to start looking at the evidence themselves, and they need to start telling the public, we saw all the evidence, body camera, fingerprints, whatever the hell, blood splatter, whatever we saw the evidence ourselves. And we determined, our office, without a grand jury, that the officer acted justifiably. Tough shit. Then they need to step aside, and the police commissioner or sheriff needs to come in and say flat out, you want to protest, but you're not going to riot. And then the mayor needs to come in, and the mayor needs to say, the police have a job to do. I'm not going to get involved. And Rudy Giuliani, who was not someone I always agree with, said that there was not a single riot in New York City in 8 years. Rudy Giuliani said, when the first thing is thrown, first arrest is made. When the second thing is thrown, second arrest is made. The majority of the time, the third guy gets the message. If the third guy doesn't get the message, he goes to jail too. Kristi Noem, the current governor of South Dakota, she also said there are no riots in my home state because police do their job. Okay? So the police need to understand that the police commissioner or sheriff, the DA, and the mayor will support them. They cannot do their job if they're afraid of being prosecuted for justifiable shooting. And a lot of people say, why is there so much fucking crime in the world? Well, one point is because Democrats. The other point is because police are so afraid that the mayor, the police commissioner, the DA are going to throw them under the bus, save their own asses. And that is bullshit. If you want to threaten a police officer with a weapon, that's your problem. If you want to threaten the public with a weapon, that's your problem. Okay? It's your own fault what happens in the end. You choose the behavior, you choose the consequences. Thank you.